Hello everyone and welcome to my GA Soap Opera Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers, Britt says goodbye to Rocco. But is Cullum listening? General Hospital spoilers suggest that Britt was born is planning on bolting to Canada with Jason Morgan and hiding out until her medication can go through the reverse engineering process. However, Britt could make a major error as she prepares to head off on this vacation. It looks like Britt will have an encounter with Rocco Falconeri in the March 12 episode, so he will be glad to see her. Though the circumstances were challenging, Britt brought Rocco into the world and still feels a particular kinship with him. That's why Britt won't be able to avoid exchanging some type of a deal with Rocco. Britt will express how thankful she is according to GA's spoilers. So she may remark that Rocco's given her a taste of what it's like to be a mom. Although Lulu Spencer is Rocco's biological mother and someone Britt can't compete with, she still cares about Rocco and will want him to know that. This the chance to get to know Rocco will leave Britt filled with appreciation. Rocco may get the idea that Britt's saying goodbye, so she might admit she has to leave town for a time and doesn't know for sure when she will be returning. And Britt might let her guard down a bit by sharing her exit plan, even if she doesn't go into the details. Of course, this may be problematic if Rush Cullum is within earshot when this Rocco and Britt scenes happen. Cullum always seems to be lurking, so trouble could be building if he overhears that Britt plans to escape town and avoid finishing the prototype. That could lead to Cullum suspecting Jason is involved and going for him with devastating repercussions. Britt could also face penalties of her own, so will her loss lives be her downfall? Even if Cullum doesn't overhear that particular conversation, he could probe Rocco thereafter and get him to reveal something unwittingly. Cullum might even listen in on Rocco telling Charlotte Cassadine or Danny Morgan about Britt's revelation later. Whatever the case, General Hospital spoilers indicate Rocco will set a shocking series of events in motion, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers: is Delilah Sidwell's mystery daughter? General Hospital spoilers reveal that there are many more discoveries planned when it comes to Delilah Wilson and her prior connections. There is a search underway for Delilah's family, but what if it leads to one of the most dangerous men in Port Charles? GA's fans know Mercurius is Diane Sid Wilson, but Sidwell might have had an adult daughter that nobody was aware of. Delilah is likely tied to a big player in PC, so there will be a lot of drama involved if the trail gets to Sidwell. It's possible Sidwell got a woman pregnant years ago and never knew she had his child. Delilah's mother might have kept her baby's paternity a secret to protect her, considering what Sidwell is capable of. However, it's also plausible that Sidwell knew Delilah was his daughter and just didn't have much of a relationship with her. After all, Sidwell was estranged from Marco until they reconnected in recent years. It's evident Delilah was in some form of issue, but what if she was coming to Sidwell for help repairing it? We could absolutely imagine Delilah getting in over her head and realizing she needed aid from her powerful, frightening bio-dad. That would explain Delilah's unexpected trip to Port Charles and give her someone he was perhaps seeking out. Perhaps Delilah's apparent art background could wind up hooking in with Sidwell too. Ava Jerome has been helping Sidwell obtain new art pieces, but she is also been impressed by the works he already owns. Sidwell has quite the art collection, So maybe he is been buying items from Delilah as a means to try to reconnect with her. Delilah may have been an art dealer based on the list of galleries for Soho and Chelsea that she had in her suitcase. So that's crucial to keep in mind. And regardless, you can guarantee Sid will want to get his hands on his granddaughter if Delilah was actually his child. Sidwell might insist on parenting Delilah's infant child as his own and put Brooklyn Quatermain as well as Harrison Chase in panic mode. General Hospital spoilers imply this infant could be vulnerable to Sidwell and his twisted web. So stay tuned for any terrible news to come. General Hospital speculation. Cyrus Reynolds alive and new dawn of day later. General Hospital spoilers reveal that while Cyrus Reynolds was shot and murdered by Jocelyn Jacks in February 2025, does any villain truly die in the universe of soaps? Could he be alive? Could he be the new dawn of a day later? Let's chat about it. And did Cyrus Reynolds fake his own death? General Hospital spoilers remind fans that if Dr. Britt was born and Nathan West, among the myriad of other characters who have returned from the dead, then so many Sarahs, the fact that Josh shot him point blank matters absolutely nothing. Cyrus may have had someone from the WSB working on the inside with him when Jack Brennan ordered his men to clean up the villain's body and guarantee the police couldn't uncover any evidence. Perhaps he ended up faking his death and starting a new life, someplace outside of Port Charles. And with that said, this doesn't imply that his new chapter won't intersect with the modest community that he once considered home. And a new day for Dawn of Day. General Hospital fans may recall that Dawn of Day was a cult led by Hank Archer aka Shiloh. Sam McCall infiltrated the cult to save her sister, Christina Corinthos Davis, and it was discovered that Shiloh was a sexual predator. Among other things, Sam ended up shooting Shiloh, who was considered dead as he was fighting Jason Morgan. Cults are all about control and manipulation, which is perfectly up Cyrus's alley. Even if he preaches about love, atonement, and forgiveness. Sadly, people sometimes use religion in cults to force people to do what they want them to do. So it wouldn't be a stretch to envision Cyrus in a role as a cult leader. This fresh Dawn of Day retaliation theory has developed from the Delilah Wilson mystery. Fans can't help but to imagine that the tattoo on Delilah's wrist is somehow tied to the ancient cult, especially given she was pregnant and badly banged up. With that stated, Delilah's tattoo may not appear exactly like the tattoos Shiloh branded his cult victims, but that may be the point. If Cyrus is operating a new cult, he may have designed a new tattoo. Only time will tell. Is Cyrus alive and running a new chapter of Dawn of Day? I was warning Jason Act first abortion considered. General Hospital spoilers are in for the week of March 16, 2026. Fans might expect Ava Jerome to give a warning Jason Morgan acts first. Plus, someone considered an abortion. Abortion considered. Let's start out with Jordan Ashford. Stella Henry noticed Jordan's pregnancy test as she was asking Curtis Ashford not to move on with the women too fast. Next, Stella will confront Jordan about what she found. That is when Jordan discloses that she is not even sure if she is going to keep the baby. Of course, Stella will reason that Curtis deserves to know the facts and to be included in the decision-making process. However, Curtis already has his hands full with Portia Robinson's pregnancy. Jason Morgan's exit thread over with Jason. He chats to Sonny Corinthos about his exit strategy. Jason and Britt Westbourne intend to depart Port Charles. However, Jason plans on neutralizing the threat beforehand. However, with Jason taking a sabbatical from GAs, may he wind up disappearing, there is no way Jason would let Britt Westbourne to take the fall alone. Ava Jerome's warning General Hospital spoilers for the week of March 16 state that Ava will deliver a warning to Lucas Jones, although Lucas urged her to keep away from Jane Sidwell. Getting close to a villain can come with information. Lucas goes and shuts early in the week. By midweek, Mercurius takes a big gamble. Lulu Spencer date. There is also Lulu Spencer, who goes on a date with Nathan West. However, that date ends up being rudely interrupted. That same day, Nathan gives a warning to Dan Falconari. What else to expect? As for what else to expect, Cody Bell gets honest with Molly Lansing Davis. Rick Lansing and Elizabeth Liz Baldwin discuss their future. Jack Brennan grills Roche Cullum. Could Jack somehow earn a redemption by taking down Cullum? Plus, Michael Corinthos play defense. And meanwhile, Alexis Davis demands answers that could complicate Sidwell utilizing Willow Ted Kane to do what he wants in Congress, so keep alert. General Hospital spoilers: Jordan got IVF because Portia was pregnant. General Hospital signs are revealing Curtis Ashford has not one but two babies on the way this year. Portia Robinson just disclosed the results of her paternity test and discovered Curtis is the father. So, why is Jordan Ashford caring about a pregnancy test? Here is what's coming up next on GAs. Spoilers down below. Jordan Ashford and Portia Robinson's feud has been well documented across the years of General Hospital. The women had clashed heads over Curtis Ashford for over a decade. Would Jordan get pregnant on purpose just because Portia is having a baby? The timing is suspicious. Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson are trying hard to construct some sort of co-parenting plan for when their newborn arrives. The ex are currently contemplating the sale of their house and where the baby will live. Curtis is pleased to have a baby on the way, regardless of who the mother is. When Jordan Ashford witnessed how pleased Curtis was about Portia's pregnancy, did she immediately visit a doctor and try to get pregnant herself? Jordan Ashford has been nothing but supportive of Curtis' predicament with his baby mama, but deep down it has to concern her that he is having a baby with another woman. The fact that it is with Portia Robinson of all people simply makes matters worse. Did Jordan's insecurity motivate her to go undergo IVF therapy so that Curtis didn't run off with Portia again? Is Jordan pregnant? Jordan has been lugging around a pregnancy test on General Hospital for a week now, but still hasn't built up the nerve to pee on a chick. The former police chief is clearly enthused about the thought of having a baby. He will be crushed if the test is negative. Of course, Jordan could always keep the rush going and pretend she is pregnant until she actually conceived. Do you think Jordan got pregnant on purpose? If she isn't pregnant, would she pretend that she is so that Curtis doesn't spend all his time with Portia? General Hospital's Kate Munshi reveals stepfather saved her life in the OR. March is Endometriosis Awareness Month. General Hospital star Kate Munshi is opening up about her own endometriosis diagnosis and the dramatic soap opera or the way she found out that she learned that she was suffering from the chronic condition after her own stepfather performed emergency surgery that saved her life. Telling her story back in 2015, Well, Mansi was acting as Abigail Devereux on Days of Our Lives. The actress began experiencing pain, nausea, and bleeding, and her stomach became swollen. It had been going on for a couple days, and doctor just kept dismissing it. Mansi remembered to people, I think as a society we are so ingrained to just listen to what the doctors say and abandon what we feel. I went into these checkups and they said, oh, maybe the pain is because your IUD is turning, and then I owed you an ultrasound. No, it's not my IUD, okay, but maybe it's just a lousy period. I was getting terribly queasy, and I had been throwing up for days, and they suggested maybe I had the flu. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Malsi continued to report to work at days, but was in so much pain that she struggled to get through the day. Eventually, she drove herself to an emergency room, where she was met by her mother and her stepfather, who is an obgyn. Scans showed an 11 centimeter lump in her abdomen, and while doctors wanted to visit an oncologist, her stepfather pressed for surgery. My stepdad was so frustrated, Nancy remembered, and because he is my stepfather, so not a blood relation, he scrubbed himself and was like, I'm not waiting for an oncologist, I'm going to do the surgery or she's not gonna make it. And he did an operation that ended up saving my life. I was in the worst pain of my life, and it turns out I had an ovarian cyst rupturing and I was working through it for days. During the surgery, Manshi's stepfather discovered endometriosis tissue and confirmed that she had endometriosis, a condition that affects roughly 1 in 10 women of reproductive age and occurs when tissue similar to the uterine lining grows outside the uterus, causing inflammation, scarring, chronic pain, and in some cases complications, affecting fertility or nearby organs. The actress said that her symptoms had altered constantly over the years, but they are much more stable now. On Jay's Munchie's TV sister Molly, played by Christine Vaganos, was diagnosed with endometriosis back in 2023. And in the March 16 episode of the serial, she will have an in-depth discussion about the issue with her boyfriend, Cody. This show was directed by Mansi herself, who had previously helmed the November 18, 2025 episode of GAs. As someone who has been in this industry for a while, I have never even wrote a script to read a script in my life to this day, apart from here, that even mentioned endometriosis, she shared. So, I was so proud of ABC and Frank Valentini and the writers for telling this story. I was extremely honored, and it should be something that is represented more. Molly's flare up Portia's pregnancy accusation. Here is everything that happened and everything coming up on Portia's. Next week's breakdown episode 15916 air date Monday, March 16, 2026. Jason and Sonny make a vow. Cody informs Molly where he stands. Tracy seeks out Laura. Portia is outranked. Curtis reassures Trina. Episode 15917 air date Tuesday, March 17, 2026. Carly cautions Sonny. Rick and Elizabeth contemplate their future. Brennan interrogates Cullum. Portia makes a crucial decision. Alexis is skeptical. Episode 15918 air date Wednesday, March 18, 2026. Jason has an unpleasant chat. Lulu and Nathan go on a date. Lucas is alarmed. Chase and Brooklyn make time for romance. Elizabeth is put on the spot. Episode 15919 air date Thursday, March 19, 2026. Jason takes action. Marco takes a tremendous risk. Ava warns Lucas. Tracy and Alexis become by car. Lulu and Nathan are interrupted. Episode 15920 air date Friday, March 20, 2026. Nathan wants Dent. Britt is shaken. Michael plays defense. Renan is called out. Alexis needs answers. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.